Hello. Have you ever smelled a perfume and had a very first reaction like, why does this smell kind of dirty, even a little stinky? And maybe it smells a bit like sweat, maybe a little bit animalic. You instinctively pull back for a second, but strangely, a few moments later, you maybe want to smell it again. And today, I'd like to talk about dirtiness in perfumery. But first, let's take this word out of the categories of bad smell and unhygienic. Dirtiness in perfume is often not the perfumer losing control, and it is not necessarily cheapness. It is more like a reminder. Perfume is never only here to make people smell clean, proper, and easy to approach. It can also call back the body we have been carefully trying to hide. So the real question I'd like to talk about in this episode is, why does perfume need dirtiness? And my answer is rather simple. Without dirtiness, perfume is left with only politeness. But with dirtiness, perfume touches human skin, desire, shame, and boundaries again. We are now too used to the idea of a flawless body. The cleanliness of laundry detergent, the cleanliness of hotel sheets, the cleanliness of just stepping out of the shower. These things are, of course, comfortable and safe, but behind that safety, there is actually a very stable kind of social training. You should not smell like sweat. You should not let other people realize that you heat up, get tired, or have desire. Ideally, the body should be like a freshly ironed white shirt, smooth, odorless, and not disturbing anyone. But here is the problem. Perfume is by nature an art of our body. It lands on our skin, gets pushed outward by body heat, and interacts with our sweat, with the fabric we're wearing, with air. No matter how elegant a perfume is, it can never truly leave the body behind. And here I'd like to draw a point from Mary Douglas, which is from her book, Purity and Danger. She offers a brilliant idea. Dirt is not something that is naturally dirty in itself. Dirt is often something out of place. So soil is completely natural in a garden, but once it lands on our white shirt, it becomes dirty. Hair is fine when it is on your head, but once it falls on the floor or falls into our soup, then it makes people frown. Sweat can be sexy in an intimate relationship, but in a crowded elevator, it becomes offensive. So the issue is never just the smell itself, but what kind of odor it disrupts. And this is exactly why dirtiness in perfume is so fascinating. It does something dangerous and very subtle. It brings things that are supposed to be removed back into our awareness and into aesthetics. Soil, blood, milk, salt, animality, all these things that remind us of the body losing control become in perfume a kind of beauty that can be worn, can be looked at, and can be understood. But this beauty is not necessarily following our social order. It keeps a little discomfort. It forces you to realize that what I am smelling is not just a pretty scent. I am smelling a boundary loosening. One perfume I think we cannot avoid here is Sécrétions Magnifiques from the brand Etat Libre. This fragrance is very, very unique in perfume history because it almost exists in order to make people uncomfortable. The brand does not package it as soft sensuality. It places the body directly at the center. Skin, sweat, metallic notes, and very physiological images about blood, milk, and excretions. If we use Julia Kristeva's idea of abjection, or the object, to understand this perfume, it becomes very interesting. The object is not something disgusting. It is more like something that makes it impossible for us to clearly separate the concept of me from not me. Blood inside the body is life. Once it flows out, it creates panic. Saliva inside our mouth is natural. Once it is spayed out, it becomes something repulsive. Milk, sweat, decay, corpse, all of these things remind us that the body is not a container with clear boundaries, forever whole and sealed. The body seeps, leaks, opens, and loses control. And this perfume, Sécrétions Magnifiques, does exactly this. It has a cold metallic quality like blood and salt, and also a milky whiteness. It is not a rich animalic perfume in the traditional sense, and it is not the sexy dirtiness of like vintage perfumery. It is more like a single moment that the inside of our body has been turned outward. And this perfume has a very bad reputation online. Many people find it disgusting. But this disgust is not simply, it smells bad. It is closer to boundary anxiety, because it forces you to smell things that are usually hated, washed away, or dealt with. It changes perfume from I want people to come closer to me into are you really ready to face the body? This is why objection explains it so well. Its danger is not that it stinks. Its danger is that it destroys the polite order of perfume. Perfume is supposed to cover sweat, but this one insists on simulating sweat. And perfume is supposed to make the body more abstract, but this one makes the body far too specific and detailed. Perfume is supposed to turn a person into an elegant social image, but this perfume makes you think of flesh, fluids, salt, metal, desire, and fear from the body. I do not think this perfume necessarily needs to be liked, but it is more like a piece of conceptual art. Its value is not whether you want to spray it on every day and go out. Its value is that it pushes perfume to a limit. If perfume can represent garden, church, sea breeze, wood, and candy, can it also represent the parts of the body we least want to be seen? And the answer is yes, but the price is that it will make you uncomfortable. So let's return to the original question. Why does perfume need dirtiness? Because cleanliness is not the only form of beauty, and politeness is not the only ethics of perfume. Dirty perfume makes us realize that perfume can do more than make people easier to accept. It can also make us aware that the body is still here. And of course, I'm not telling everyone to wear dirty perfumes to the office. Many dirty perfumes are not suitable for enclosed spaces, for situations where you need to maintain polite distance, or for days when you do not want to be misunderstood. And they need to be sampled. They need solitude. They need a little psychological preparation. But more and more, I feel that perfume needs these things. Someone has to make animality. Someone has to make sweat, blood, soil, and the kinds of smells that make people step back, but then somehow want to come closer for a second try. If all perfumes only pursue cleanliness, softness, politeness, and non-offensiveness, then perfume will slowly become just a social lubricant. It will only be responsible for polishing us into people who are easier to accept. But perfume can do more than that, and it should be more than that. And dirtiness in perfume stands right at the intersection of all these things. It disrupts order, it opens the boundary of the body, and pulls aesthetics back from abstract elegancy to our real skin, to our real body. So I think the most precious thing about dirty perfume is that they admit that we, as human beings, we are also skin, we are also fat, we're also breath, salt, body heat, and things that are crossed the line. Without dirtiness, perfume is left with only politeness. With dirtiness, perfume touches the human again. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.